A cashless empire running on surveillance, high-speed rail, and automated production lines. Welcome to the 99% reality of 2026 China. Physical currency has been phased out. Survival here requires operating within a digital loop, where every transaction, even buying a single apple, is scanned and verified by the state. This visualization maps the physical infrastructure, a high-speed rail network spanning over 45,000 kilometers. That is enough track to wrap entirely around the planet's equator. While travel across this grid is nearly instantaneous, the entry requirements for the global gateway have been completely rewritten. Visitors experience streets with near-zero violent crime and low-cost amenities, but only after they navigate significant technical friction. If you arrive relying on physical cash or plastic credit cards, you will find yourself effectively locked out of the local economy. This raises the question, does the payoff of this high-tech ecosystem justify the logistical setup required to enter it? To find the answer, you have to understand how your specific passport determines your hacking path into the system. The first step is decoding the 2026 visa protocols. As shown in this flowchart, 77 countries now have a standard 30-day visa-free entry. For these travelers, the path is direct. For non-exempt passports like the US, UK, and India, the primary entry method is the upgraded 240-hour transit rule. This grants 10 days of visa-free transit across 60 designated ports. The logistics are rigid. You must present a confirmed ticket from country A, transiting through China, to a third country C. This loophole allows for short-term access, but it eliminates the possibility of spontaneous or open-ended travel. Once you cross the border, daily life is governed by a closed-loop digital ecosystem. Before arrival, you must integrate WeChat and Alipay into your devices. Without these mobile payment systems, you cannot access basic services. Once your digital wallet is active, a full Sichuan hot pot spread, like the one shown here, costs between $3 and $8. High-end culinary staples like Peking duck are equally accessible, provided you can navigate the apps required to order them. Maintaining global connectivity requires a secondary layer, a premium VPN to bypass the Great Firewall. Operating within this monitored grid results in an environment where violent crime is statistically near zero. This level of safety is maintained by a nationwide network of AI facial recognition cameras, like these mounted over traditional architecture, monitoring every block. Integration into the system also grants access to transit, like the Shanghai maglev, which moves along elevated tracks at speeds conventional rail cannot match. You gain perfect security and efficiency, but only by forfeiting digital privacy and all analog fallbacks. For those moving here for work, the focus shifts to capitalizing on the local wealth boom. This economic growth is centered on advanced manufacturing, e-commerce, and AI logistics. This chart compares expat earnings in trade and education, typically between $2,500 and $4,500, against local cost of living. In mid-tier cities, a standard one-bedroom apartment rents for $400 to $750, allowing for a high savings rate. However, that financial advantage is lost in central Beijing or Shanghai, where rent frequently exceeds $1,200. High earnings are paired with a relentless corporate culture that is structurally different from standard Western working norms. Local tech firms often operate on 996 culture, working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. Western workers often experience a high rate of rapid burnout when faced with this sustained intensity. The opportunity to build capital is significant, but it requires an explicit trade-off of personal time and mental health. Navigating 2026 China is an optimization game. This matrix breaks down the three primary profiles. The transit hacker is the budget-conscious traveler who leverages the 240-hour rule for high-value access to the rail network and local food. The economic expat uses a 2-year window to rapidly accumulate savings, accepting the 996 grind as a temporary investment. Finally, the traditional tourist. Those seeking off-grid travel or analog privacy should avoid this destination. The friction is too high for the intended experience. To avoid geographic weather extremes, like the freezing winters in Harbin shown here, this profile should target spring or autumn windows. The 2026 protocol requires the traveler to adapt to the system rather than the system adapting to the traveler. Would you trade your personal time for a piece of this high-tech dream? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe below to stay real. Next up, Colombia. the rising crown of South American color and lush coffee fields.